The first aspect relates to the deliberations of the Monetary Policy Committee and its decision. In the second part, I would be focusing on an assessment of growth and inflation. Then I would move on, and as a third aspect, third part of my statement, I would be focusing on the financial market and liquidity conditions. And finally, I would be announcing certain additional measures on behalf of the Reserve Bank of India. I request your patience. The Monetary Policy Committee, MPC, met on 4th, 5th, and 6th August 2021. Based on an assessment of the evolving domestic and global macroeconomic and financial conditions and outlook, the MPC voted unanimously to keep the policy repo rate unchanged at 4%. The MPC also decided on a 5-to-1 majority to continue with the accommodative stance as long as necessary to revive and sustain growth on a durable basis and continue to mitigate the impact of COVID-19 on the economy while inflation remains within the target going forward. The marginal standing facility, that is MSF rate, and the bank rate remain unchanged at 4.25%. The reverse repo rate also remains unchanged at 3.35%. At this stage, therefore, continued policy support from all sides, fiscal, monetary, and sectoral, is required to nurture the nascent and hesitant recovery. The MPC continues to be conscious of its mandate of anchoring inflation expectations as soon as the prospects for strong and sustainable growth are assured. Accordingly, the MPC decided to retain the prevailing repo rate at 4% and continue with the accommodative stance with all its nuances. Domestic economic activity has started normalizing with the ebbing of the second wave of the virus and the phased reopening of the economy. High-frequency indicators suggest that consumption, that's number one, both private and government. Number two, investment. And number three, external demand. I repeat, high-frequency indicators, and these are three aspects of the high-frequency indicators and the three aspects of growth which I am focusing now. High-frequency indicators suggest that consumption, both private and government, investment, and external demand are all on the path of regaining traction. Let me now elaborate on each of these three aspects. Further easing of restrictions and increasing coverage of vaccinations are likely to boost private spending on goods and services, including travel, tourism, and recreational activities, propelling a broad-based recovery in aggregate demand. The robust outlook for agriculture and rural demand would continue to support private consumption. Urban demand is likely to accelerate with recovery in manufacturing and non-contact intensive services, release of pent-up demand, and the pace of vaccination. This is corroborated by encouraging movements in several high-frequency indicators, namely registration of automobiles, electricity consumption, non-oil, non-gold imports, consumer durable sales, and hiring of urban workers. The results of the July round of Reserve Bank's Consumer Confidence Survey suggest that 1 year ahead sentiments return to optimistic territory from historic lows. Early results from listed firms show that corporates have been able to maintain their healthy growth in sales, wage growth, and profitability, led by information technology firms primarily. This will also support aggregate disposable income of the consumers. Turning to investment, although investment demand is still anemic, improving capacity utilization, rising steel consumption, higher imports of capital goods, congenial monetary and financial conditions, and the economic packages announced by the government are expected to kickstart a long-awaited revival. Firms polled in the Reserve Bank's surveys expect expansion in production volumes and new orders in the second quarter of 21-22, and which they expect would sustain through the fourth quarter of the current financial year. And this bodes very well for investment. Innovation and working models adopted during the pandemic by businesses will continue to reap efficiency and productivity gains even after the pandemic recedes. This should help trigger a virtuous cycle of investment, employment, and growth. As regards external demand, it remained buoyant during the first quarter of 2021-22, and it was reflected very clearly in the increase in the volume of our exports, and this lent critical support to aggregate demand. Strong external demand is an opportunity for India, and further policy support should help in capitalizing on this. Global commodity prices and episodes of financial market volatility, together with vulnerability to new waves of infections, are, however, downside risks to economic activity. Taking all these factors into consideration, which I have now just spelled out, the projection for real GDP growth is retained at 9.5% for 2021-22. And this consists of, I'll give the quarterly breakup. This consists of 21.4% in Q1, 7.3% in Q2, 6.3% in Q3, and 6.1% in Q4 of 2021-22. Real GDP growth for Q1 22-23, that is next financial year, is projected at 17.2%. Taking into consideration all these factors, CPI inflation is now projected at 5.7% during 21-22, and this consists of 5.9% in Q2, 5.3% in Q3, and 5.8% in Q4 of 21-22, with risks broadly balanced. CPI inflation for the first quarter of 22-23, that is the next financial year, is projected at 5.1%. The Reserve Bank, through its market operations, both conventional and unconventional, has maintained ample surplus liquidity since the onset of the pandemic to ensure easing of financial conditions in support of domestic demand. Buoyed by renewed vigor of capital inflows and the Reserve Bank's purchase of government securities in the secondary market, the total absorption through reverse repos surged from a daily average of rupees 5.7 lakh crore in June to 6.8 lakh crore in July 21, that is July 2021, and further to 8.5 lakh crore in August 2021 so far, and this is the figure up to the 4th of August. Under the revised liquidity framework announced on February 6th, 2020, that is February 6th of last year, the Reserve Bank has been conducting 14-day variable reverse repo rate auctions, what I call the VRRR auctions, as its main liquidity operation. We have seen higher appetite of VRR in terms of our experience in the recent auctions. And this is reflected in the bid cover ratio, because the bid cover ratios are far higher, have been much higher than the total quantum which is put to auction, that is 2 lakh crores. So I repeat, we have seen higher appetite for VRRR in terms of bid cover ratio in the recent auctions. And this also we have seen over a period of time. Considering all these aspects, it has now been decided to conduct fortnightly VRRR auctions of rupees 2.5 lakh crore on 13th August, 3 lakh crore on 27th August, 3.5 lakh crore on 9th September, and 4 lakh crore on September 24th, 2021. So as you can see, in a calibrated manner, we are increasing the quantum, increasing the quantum that is being put under auction under the VRRR window, and this is mainly in response to the market appetite for VRRR auctions. And simultaneously, our overnight fixed reverse repo window also remains open. So it's a voluntary kind of thing which the investors and the banks, particularly the banks, can opt for. Now, these enhanced VRR auctions should not be misread as a reversal of the accommodative policy stance, as the amount absorbed under the fixed rate reverse repo is expected, I repeat again, as the amount absorbed under the fixed reverse repo is expected to remain more than 4 lakh crore even at the end of September 21, September of this year. Needless to add that the amount adopted under the VRRR window forms part of system liquidity. So system liquidity consists of both VRRR quantum as well as what is absorbed by the Reserve Bank at the end of every day through fixed rate reverse repo windows. The Reserve Bank's secondary market GSEC acquisition program, GSAP, has been successful in anchoring yield expectations while eliciting keen response from market participants. We propose to conduct 2 more auctions of rupees 25,000 crore each on 12th August and 26th August 2021 under the GSAP 2.0. We will continue to undertake these auctions and other operations like open market operations, that is OMOs, and Operation Twist, OT, among others, and calibrate them in line with the evolving macroeconomic and financial conditions. On 27th March last year, banks were allowed to avail of funds under the marginal standing facility, that is MSF, by dipping into the statutory liquidity ratio up to an additional 1% of net demand and time liabilities, that is NDTL, that is cumulatively up to 3% of the NDTL. To provide comfort to banks on their liquidity requirements, including meeting their liquidity coverage ratio requirement, this relaxation, which is currently available till September 30th of this year, is now being extended for a further period of 3 months, that is up to 31st December 2021. This dispensation provides increased access to funds to the extent of rupees 1.62 lakh crore and qualifies as high quality liquidity assets, HQLA, for calculation of the LCR. Let me now summarize and conclude. As the COVID second wave ebbs, there is optimism that with adequate pandemic protocols and ramp up in vaccination rate, we should be able to tide over a third wave if it occurs. As a nation, we should continue to be vigilant and ready to proactively deal with any resurgence of the pandemic with more rapidly transmissible mutants of the virus should it happen. The recovery remains uneven across sectors and needs to be supported by all policymakers. The Reserve Bank remains in whatever it takes mode, with a readiness to deploy all its policy levers, monetary, prudential, and regulatory. In parallel, our focus on preservation of financial stability continues. At this juncture, our overarching priority is that growth impulses are nurtured to ensure a durable recovery along a sustainable growth path with stability. In this endeavor, we have consciously chosen the path of optimism over gloom, inspired by Mahatma Gandhi. And I quote Mahatma Gandhi, quote, I am an irrepressible optimist, but I always base my optimism on solid facts. Thank you. Stay safe, stay well. Namaskar.